Why are these guys taking aim at Social Security now? Well, they're following that old line from tech startups. The quote is, move fast, break things. Well, they're certainly breaking things. They're shooting first and aiming later. And as a result, the result is a lot of needless pain and sleepless nights. We know just how much Social Security matters to people's lives. Everyone in this room fights for people with disabilities who rely on Social Security to survive. To survive. Not just the physical side, it's the mental side. It's the mental side. You make sure folks get the benefits they earn after a lifetime of hard work. The work they do is more than just a profession, what you do. It's a calling. It's not just a profession. And Social Security is more than a government program. It's a sacred promise. We made it today, a sacred promise. 73 million Americans receive Social Security. From their first paycheck for their entire life, they pay into Social Security. And in return, they count on Social Security to be for them when they're going to need it. Folks, must never ever betray that trust or turn our backs on that obligation.
In the face of a trade war with the U.S. and President Donald Trump's jibes about making the country the 51st state, Canadians are heading to the polls with their elbows up, a reference to being ready for a hockey fight. The April 28th election has become a showdown between Prime Minister and Liberal leader Mark Carney.
President Trump claims that Canada isn't a real country.
And Conservative Party leader Pierre Poilievre.
Stand up and say, we are not Americans, we are Canadians!
Just 2 months into his political career, Carney, the two-time central banker, has changed his party's fortunes. In January, the Liberals, led by then Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, trailed the main opposition Conservative Party by 24 points. Since then, Trudeau resigned, and Trump stepped back into the White House. The Liberals rebounded and, as of April 15th, had a 6-point lead over Poilievre's Conservatives in polls aggregated by the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. Carney's also been helped by other factors. The tariff crisis has given him more visibility as Prime Minister, and support for the left-leaning New Democratic Party is cratering.
This is not an ordinary election. This is a Canadian election in the shadow of Donald Trump's United States.
Anna Mailer-Paperny is a Reuters reporter in Toronto.
All of a sudden, having a boring banker in charge puts you at an advantage. What strategists have told us is that they have not attempted to dress up Carney or make him seem more charismatic than he comes across as naturally. They're leaning into his brand of bland competence in the hopes that this will give Canadians a sense of reassurance and win their support.
With Carney rising in the polls, some Conservative strategists have called out Poilievre's campaign for failing to take on Trump. Poilievre has said on the campaign trail that Trump's threats are real and serious, and that his plans for Canada go beyond the U.S. president.
He uses a lot of alliteration, some rhyming. He uses some name-calling, although he's cut that back a little bit. He talks about wokeism and being anti-woke. All of these things, in some people's eyes, make him look just a little bit too close to Donald Trump for comfort.
Neither the Liberal Party nor Poilievre's campaign responded to an interview request. While things could still change, Carney's Liberal Party is projected to win a majority in Parliament.
It not only keeps you fit, but since it is not your everyday activity, and by breaking the routine, you bring something new to everyday life.
La vida cotidiana, pues lo que haces es...
And that gives you a sense of rest.
Y eso descansa.
Wire services, including Reuters and Bloomberg News, will no longer be guaranteed access to President Donald Trump. The decision by the White House on Tuesday comes as it moves to exert greater control over who gets to ask him questions and report on his statements in real time. It also comes after the Trump administration last week lost a court challenge brought by another wire service, the Associated Press, over its exclusion from the small pool of reporters who cover the president. The White House barred the AP in February after it refused to refer to the body of water south of the United States as the Gulf of America, as Trump had ordered it be called. The pool typically consists of around 10 outlets that follow the president wherever he goes. Under the new policy, wire services will lose their customary spot in the pool and will instead be part of a larger rotation. Wire services tend to cover the president and the White House more closely on a daily basis than most outlets. Other media customers, particularly local news organizations that have no presence in Washington, rely on wires for up-to-date reporting, video, and audio. Financial markets are also dependent on the wire service's real-time reports of statements the president makes. According to guidance provided to Reuters by a White House official on Tuesday, Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt will have the discretion to determine the members of the pool on a daily basis. The official said outlets will be eligible to be included in the pool, quote, irrespective of the substantive viewpoint expressed by an outlet.
Indian consumers have been forced to trade in gold ornaments to afford new jewellery, as fluctuating US tariffs have caused prices to soar. The precious metal reached record high prices of over $3,245 an ounce on Monday. Meanwhile, domestic gold prices are nearing $1,116 per 10 grams, according to Mumbai jeweller Kumar Jain.
Almost lakh ke aaspaas pahunch gaya hai.
He said as it's wedding season with almost 80,000 taking place next month, people swapping in old gold has become a trend. According to jewellers, these old bangles and rings are later melted and turned into gold bars for immediate exchange. Local customer Samira said that the rate of gold was almost twice what she had paid previously.
We had to come here to resell our gold jewellery because there's a wedding in our family. Gold prices have gone up a lot, so we had to exchange our old jewellery. I bought the old jewellery during my wedding and the price was around $580. But now it's soared to over $1,100, so we have no option but to sell the old jewellery to buy new jewellery.
Jewellers also said they were experiencing less than half their usual customer traffic. India is the second largest consumer of gold after China. Jewellery makes up nearly 70% of India's total gold demand.
Europe faced its most widespread flooding in over a decade last year, scientists said on Tuesday, as climate change continues to prompt extreme weather globally. Deadly floods and storms in 2024 affected over 410,000 people in Europe, causing over $20 billion in damage. Western Europe was hit hardest, with last year ranking among the region's 10 wettest years since 1950. That's according to a joint report by the EU's Copernicus Climate Change Service and the World Meteorological Organization. Nearly a third of Europe's overall river network exceeded a high flood threshold, while 12% reached severe flood levels in 2024. Globally, 2024 was the warmest year on record, with Europe being the fastest warming continent. The planet is now about 1.3 degrees Celsius warmer than pre-industrial times, mostly due to human-caused climate change. Southeastern Europe experienced its longest heat wave on record, totaling 13 days, while Scandinavia's glaciers also shrank at record rates. Much of Eastern Europe was hit by a lack of rain and drought, while floods ravaged Western Europe. The report noted some bright spots, though. Renewable energy sources hit a record 45% of Europe's energy in 2024, and most European cities now have climate adaptation plans in place.